Tommy Fury versus Roy Jones Jr. is now a potential fight. Now, who did we get this from? Well, we got this from Tommy Fury's father himself, John Fury. Now, who will actually win this fight? Well, let's look at their latest performances in which Tommy Fury outboxed Jake Paul, completely destroyed him until he got dropped in round 8.
Gary starting strong. I thought we had some really good rounds.
But ultimately, Tommy Fury still won by decision.
Tommy
After this, he went on to fight KSI, in which KSI's power was way too much for Tommy Fury. So all Tommy Fury was doing the whole entire fight was hugging KSI. Now again, this fight still has a potential to be overturned and for a win for KSI. But ultimately, this fight ended in a win for Tommy Fury. Now let's talk about Roy Jones Jr.'s latest performances, in which we all know he fought Mike Tyson, in which they both performed pretty well, in which they both landed some great hugs. But ultimately, it was just two fat old men just fighting each other, in which the fight ended in a draw.
World champions is a draw. Mr. Tyson, what do you think of that?
I'm good with that.
After this, Roy Jones Jr. actually got a professional fight against a guy named Anthony Pettis, in which Roy Jones Jr. looked very explosive for his age. And not only that, but he also landed multiple hooks. But ultimately, Anthony landed way more and had way more speed than Roy Jones Jr. And ultimately, Anthony Pettis won by decision.
from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Now, before you start to have some doubts on this fight happening, here's the thing. Roy Jones Jr., in my opinion, I think he will be down to have an exhibition. Let me again remind you, when he fought Mike Tyson, both men, even at their age, were so active and gave a good fight, even probably a better fight than most of today's boxers like Shakur Stevenson. So based off this, I do think Roy Jones Jr. will be down to do an exhibition, along with Tommy Fury will also be down, because again, let me remind you guys, he's also had an exhibition against Rolly Lambert. So there is a possibility of this fight happening, but here's the thing. Should it happen, and would it be a good fight? Well, to answer both of those questions, no, it should not happen, and no, it would not be a good fight. And I'll tell you why. Because it doesn't make sense that just because both of these fighters have had an exhibition, that doesn't mean it can happen, only because things can go really wrong, because you have a young, fresh boxer like Tommy Fury going up against Roy Jones Jr., which at his age shouldn't be fighting. But here's the thing. If this fight was to happen, how do I see this fight going? Well, considering the fact that Tommy Fury in his latest exhibition didn't even try. It was one of the most boring fights I've ever seen. Even Jake Paul, being one of the commentators, was clowning on Tommy Fury, saying that he looks slow. What is this fight? Who even came to watch this fight? Just basically clowning on Tommy Fury. And that's kind of how I see this exhibition going if it was to happen.